Do you feel like there is a point where they can see enough before the trade deadline that this is the group they're going to stick with? I should rephrase that, by the way, because Daryl Morey never sticks with exactly the same group, but stars-wise. Or do you think that there's a point where they're going to look more seriously at that James Harden trade that we know has been discussed?
So the Sixers have the player that the Rockets, I think, can, that's probably the best deal that they can make right now, which is Ben Simmons. It's just a matter of constructing it in a way that satisfies both teams. If they really drilled down, they could probably get a deal done within a day or two. But neither one really are interested in doing that right now. And what the real question to me is there another team out there? Because we have a bunch of teams sort of packed together in the middle that tries to jump up and make an offer for Harden before Philadelphia comes to a final analysis in its mind. And right now, at 3-1, and Embiid and Simmons playing like this, I would say they're farther away from a Harden trade than they were 2 weeks ago.
Perk, what do you think? If you were Daryl, would you be looking to make that deal, or would you stand put with what you got?
I would stay put right now, Rachel. I would watch at least the first part of the season up into the trade deadline to see where the team is at. So I would keep an eye and I would monitor the situation. One thing about it is that you could never go wrong with trading for a guy like James Harden, an MVP guy that's right now that's like 10 to 12 pounds overweight and still averaging about 35 points a night. So, but with that being said, I wouldn't mess up the chemistry. Right now, I'm looking at this, watching this Philadelphia 76er team, and the chemistry is there. Mm-hmm. You have great leadership in this locker room between Danny Green and Dwight Howard. Both guys that have won the championship and knows what it takes. So right now the chemistry is there. Guys look like they love playing with one another, and most importantly, they know their roles. They know their roles. So I wouldn't mess with it, not right now.
All right, well, let's move on to another team built around its big man. Last night on national television, the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Miami Heat by 47 points. Now, to be fair, Jimmy Butler did not play for the defending Eastern Conference champs. Milwaukee did set a single-game record, though, with 29 made threes. In fact, every active Bucks player except Giannis Antetokounmpo made at least one three in this game. Now, the Heat face the Bucks again today. Their Twitter account showed a little humor, posting this graphic this morning with the caption, "Taking on the Bucks tonight for the first time this season." Brian, it's like it never happened, right? And I did see this morning that Jimmy Butler not expected to play in this game either, Brian. So do you feel like you learned anything from yesterday or even from tonight's game without Jimmy, or not? It's just another night.
Rachel, we finally found something that the pandemic cured. It cured the Miami flu. I've never seen a team come out in Miami and shoot like this. If you take away Giannis, the starters shot 18 of 25 on threes. Now, I will submit that is arguably one of the greatest shooting performances in the history of the NBA, not just on volume, but on percentage. So this is probably the best shooting performance we will see throughout the entire year. So I'm not going to focus on the spread of 47 points or the Heat. But what I will point out is this Bucks team is heavily reliant on production from its starting lineup. We have seen that in just these first few games. When the starters play well, they are awesome. Their bench remains suspect. And so what I take away from this is a reinforcing of, boy, the Bucks starters are really, really good. But what happens when they need some of their bench? That's what we're going to watch as the season goes along.
Well, I agree with you, Brian, but here's the key factor of this. Chris Middleton has been playing some outstanding basketball, and last night he was on fire. But I'm going to go back to this. We're seeing all these blowouts. This is why the NBA, this is why the players need fans. This is why fans are so important. They help guys rally back. They give guys this energy. Just imagine, the Miami Heat got blown out at home. If it was a crowd in the stands to help them rally back and go on those 10-0 runs or those 15-2 runs, the game would have got close. But you have to find that energy without fans in the stands, and it is a unique situation, and guys are going to have to overcome it. But I expect it's going to be a lot of blowouts this season.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit more later. You mentioned the Miami flu, Brian. I think Damian Lillard said the other night before they played against the Lakers that there wasn't anything he could go out and do in LA like he normally would the night before. We may see some teams lose this home court advantage in ways we didn't expect this season. We'll see. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.